Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash and I welcome all of you to another series of face-to-face corporate interviews where we interview promising corporates and tell them about their businesses, about their growth prospects. And friends, today we have got a very interesting company by the name of Droneacharya Aerial Innovations Limited, and we have the founder and managing director, Mr. Pratik Srivastava. Pratik, welcome to the show, and thank you very much for sparing your valuable time today with us.
Thank you so much.
So, Pratik ji, first question which I would like to ask you is that, I believe the company is also planning to go public. So, if you could share with us your business journey, how did this, business materialize? How did you start with this idea? And tell us something about your initial years and currently, what's the kind of management profile you have on the board of the company and some more prospects about the longer term aspects of this business.
Right. So first of all, thank you so much for giving this opportunity. It's a dream of any entrepreneur or a startup founder to share the story. So to start with, I have been blessed with, so I belong to ISRO family. My father, my mother, my brother-in-law, and myself for some time have worked in ISRO and for very prestigious projects like Chandrayaan-1 and Mangalyaan-1 and all that. So I've always been a space kid. So technology or this remote sensing and new age technology always fascinated me. So after I graduated from Asian Institute of Technology, Bangkok in remote sensing and GIS, I did my master's over there. After that, I got into the entrepreneurship or startup mode. So I was one of the founding members of a company in IT Kanpur, and post that I joined a company in Ahmedabad, and that was the time I think I sort of thought that I can do something with a team and much on a much larger scale as well. So 2013 was when I started. I entered into the drone space with an American company, Precision Hawk. Worked there for 3 years almost as a business head as well as the over vertical head for the entire APAC region. Okay. And that was one of the very first few drone companies in the world. And at that point of time, it was in top three in the world for drone service provider. After that, I joined a Japanese company, Terra Drone Corporation, which is currently number 2. And that point of time, it was number 1 in the world for drone service provider. And both of them almost touched the unicorn status. So Droneacharya is the third venture that I have. The company was incorporated in 2017 March. So this is slightly more than 5.5 years old company. And we are a team of 65 people and not only the promoter, but also the core team members. They are from ISRO background, defense background. They are from IT, drones, GIS background. So it's a multiverse of all the key players coming together for a larger goal.
Okay. So, Pratik, now tell me something about the overall business model of the company and how big is the drone market? We have been hearing a lot of announcements from the government regarding, the regulation of drones. Government has also formulated a PLI policy. So, first of all, if you could tell us your business model and, how big is the opportunity over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
So first of all, I'll start with what the business model is and a bit about the company as well. So we are into training. Training means not only the flying of the drone, but also manufacturing of the drone for repair and maintenance. And somewhat we can draw a parallel between the telecom industry of 90s and 2000s. So every decade has one revolutionary technology, and this particular decade and the next one is dedicated towards the aerial platform. This is exactly what we are into. So it's not only about operating the system, it is also about building the drones. A lot of data gets collected in that. So you need some sort of data processing in this. You need some algorithms or customization part of that too. So we have around 11-12 courses. So training remains our main course business. Apart from that, we are into services and projects as well. So we are working on a World Bank project right now in Nandurbar. Along with that, we just finished an IIT Gandhinagar and Survey of India project for Vadnagar, where Honorable Prime Minister was born. So there was a ancient civilization site over there. We did a project over there. And training also not only the DGCA, which is the regulatory body in the country, we also have trained the defense personnels. We have trained the B2B, B2C, and B2G, all three. So this is exactly what our business model is, that all three we cater into, and now we seek to get into the manufacturing as well.
Okay. So, if you could give us some, kind of color on what is the overall potential of the drone market, because just to add to this question, if I were to ask you that which are the promising segments where you think growth could actually come in a big way? I was reading your presentation and your DRHP. So, we have been seeing that you have been working on agriculture, on, e-commerce. So basically, which are the segments which should show a significant growth for the growth of the overall drone sector? If you could give us some color on that.
Sure. So I think currently the Indian drone market is anywhere around 400 to 450 million US, around in INR around 3,500 crore INR. And most of that comes from the defense and the civilian side both. And we are particularly in civilian side right now. And as per different reports, right from 17 to 25% CAGR year on year is projected for this particular industry. So this makes it not only the most exciting, but also the fastest growing industry in the world as well. So into that as well, as I said, I mean, there are total three things. One is the services or projects, second is training, and third is the manufacturing side. So all three of them are growing at a neck-breaking speed. And within 5 years, people are projecting it to become a $40 billion industry.
Okay, fine. Very nicely articulated by you, Pratik. Now, tell me one thing. Government has also given a PLI status to the drone sector. So, I just wanted to know: is your company also eligible to get PLI status in case it goes in for an expansion? So, if at all, then what could be the kind of financial benefits over the next, say, 5 to 6 years?
So PLI currently is for the component manufacturers and all that. And but then if you see the overall industry, it is going more towards the automation side or the data intelligence side of that, apart from the training and hardware. So now getting into manufacturing and also into the component building, we would like to enjoy the benefits of PLI and would like to transfer the same to the end consumer as well. So I think the first PLI scheme for 120 crores is for 3 years. This is the second year going on. And post that, for sure, seeing the success of how good the PLI scheme is doing, government will surely introduce this to much more sectors or segments as well, beyond agriculture as well.
Okay.
So we are looking to be a part of that as well.
Okay. Pratik, one more thing which I wanted to understand is that as of now, what is the kind of client concentration? If you could tell us how many customers you have, and basically across what verticals are these customers coming in? Actually, if you could tell us a little bit about, your customer profile, that would be a little helpful.
Right. So I've already mentioned about, let's say, World Bank initiative that is for carbon financing in agroforestry, which is one of its kind of a project in the world per se. So that's one big client that we have. We have just finished a project with IIT Gandhinagar. We are doing a project with Haryana state government as well. We are doing a project with West Bengal Amrit cities as well. So this is more from the services side. And along with that, we were also one of the first companies in the country to conduct the medicine from the sky initiative. So we supplied real COVID medicines during the COVID times using drones. So this was with Apollo Hospital and Flipkart and Government of Telangana in Vikarabad near Hyderabad. So we supplied almost 40 kilometers away from the distribution center to the primary health center. We distributed almost 600 plus vials per sortie for 5 days continuous.
Okay.
So now we want to take it to a next level and would like to commercialize that as well.
Okay.
So these are some of the clients from the services side. Training is more from the individuals that we have. We have B2B. So let's say quite a few of large companies like Genesis or Bharat Forge and Idea Forge, they are coming to us for the training side. That is from B2B. B2G as well, we are talking to Government of Maharashtra, Government of Haryana as well for training their officials as well. And we have an RPTO, which is Remote Pilot Training Organization, in a simple layman language, a drone school based out of Rashtriya Raksha University in Lavard, Gandhinagar, Gujarat. which is an institute of national importance, which comes directly under the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Okay.
So now we will be getting into the paramilitary and the defense personnel training as well.
Okay. If you could tell us, Pratik, if it is possible, if you could tell us a broad idea about this, business model work on an order book kind of situation, like you have orders in hand and then you start producing, basically the road services, because I believe the training is obviously, training to B2B and B2C customers. So is there any concept of order book? And secondly, what is the geographical currently reach? Is it like most of the customers are from abroad or some of them are from the domestic market? If you could give us some color on that.
So this generally works on the order book. Like in training, you get the advance and you have to enroll for the courses. Similarly, for the service side or the project side as well, it works on the order book. So you have to set the milestones first, and you keep charging them as and when you complete the milestone.
Okay.
So this is more from the services side. Also for the manufacturing, we take advance and we build for order as per order.
Okay.
And coming to the geographical side, one big advantage of this particular industry is that this is not geographically bounded. So let's say a mapping project that I'm doing in India, I can go to Nigeria, I can go to any other place in the country, in the world, and any country in the world, and I can execute the same thing. There are some open standards which are set for this particular industry, right from mapping to inspection to monitoring to survey, everything. So irrespective of the geography, we can go anywhere in the world and execute it. So currently we are starting with Middle East as well. So India is not the only focus. We would like to take Droneacharya to an international level, and we are already in an expansion mode. So we are starting our first international office, a service office in Middle East. We already have an establishment in US as well. Now tapping the Central Asia and the African region and Southeast Asia as well. So these are the 4 regions that we would like to grow geographically as well.
Okay. Pratik, now coming to the financials of the business, broadly, if you could tell us what is the main cost component, whether it is, manpower cost or whether it is raw material cost, if you could tell us what is the major cost component for you, and in your business, what is the contribution margins? By that, I mean, after you deduct your variable expenses, what is the starting contribution margin in your business? And, is there something like operating leverage in your business, or is it typically like a flat business, a kind of annuity business based on the order book, the revenue increases? So if you could just explain these small things to us.
I think on the financial side, I think the most important cost component is going to be manpower, as this is a new industry and finding right talent becomes little difficult at times. And this is a common problem with a sunrise industry like drones and data intelligence. So most of the cost goes into grooming and training the talent. And so coming to, let's say, the service side of that, drones, that too very particular drones, because one drone cannot suffice all the requirement. So you need to have particular drones as per the requirement of the client. So there could be underwater drones, underground drones, there could be some specific drones for specific purpose. So that is something which is again a big cost factor for us. And again, I think if I talk about more from the business side, I think manpower and hardware, and not only the drone, but it requires, let's say, high power servers and some other processing units, which consumes the most of the cost part.
Okay. And as far as the working capital cycle is concerned, what is the broad time frame, which is taken by the time you book the order, you execute the order, and the client pays you? So if you could tell us kind of a rough estimate, for the working capital cycle in your business, like.
Okay. So generally we work like in training, of course, we have 100% advance. In hardware, we have almost 70% advance. But as far as services or projects are concerned, it is basically at milestone and with a payment cycle of 90 days. But we do take some advance as the mobilization and also payment as per the project milestones.
Okay. And, now since you said, that you got orders across customer profiling segment. So now going forward, what is the thought process? Like, which are the sectors which you think where the most maximum growth would come in? If you could tell us, like you said, pharma is one, typically e-commerce is one, agriculture is also there. So typically out of all these 3, 4 sectors for you, which would be the kind of growth oriented sector which, the company would focus more aggressively?
So I think rather than going, let's say, industry-wise, I'll go more from the deliverable side. So as I've already mentioned, that data intelligence is something which is new for the market, and the time has already passed for the industry in which they were just looking to fly a drone and collect the data and give them some images or something, which was the case, let's say, from 2013 to 16, 17 on.
Okay.
But now every client is looking for a data intelligence, some sort of a predictive modeling or some sort of data intelligence to the image side as well. Apart from that, every industry is looking for automation as well. So right from agriculture to smart cities to water to road to mining to any industry you look at, it could be renewable energy, it could be wind energy, anything. So all of them are looking at automation side. So this is where our focus is. We don't want to be a service provider. We want to be a more of a solution partner.
Okay.
So where automation and data intelligence will come into picture. And apart from that, as I said, I mean, there's a huge scarcity of trained talent, trained and certified talent.
Okay.
This is where our focus would be.
Okay. And typically, now coming back to your, after you mentioned about your working capital cycle, I think what are the kind of challenges you think, your sector will face? Because it's a new sector, obviously it's evolving. So according to you, what are the key challenges on ground when you actually talk to clients, when you actually start, moving around in the market? So obviously, like every sector, there might be some challenges. So if you could, give us some idea on this.
So I think the biggest challenge right now is so February 2022, through Ministry of Defense, there was a complete ban on the import of drones. So which was a very big boost for the Indian manufacturers and the Indian components and the hardware producers. So availability of components and drones is something which is a key challenge right now. Let's say if I take you back to around 4 years from now, let's say December 2018, before that, the entire civilian market was banned. If you have to use for any non-government or non-defense purpose, so you have to take special permission on case-to-case basis. But post 2018 December, the entire sky has been opened, and very leniently and trustworthily, the new regulations have come in. And I take pride in saying that these are one of the most liberal drone policies in the world. So that used to be a key challenge, which has been mitigated now. Currently, we are in a transition phase from an international product or a foreign product to make in India product. This is something what we are focusing right now. And key risks, if I say, now at least the government policies are regulated and they are stabilized now. But key risk is again the scarcity of manpower.
Okay.
So before commencement of any new project or before ensuring the client, we need to have trained and certified talent to cater to that.
Okay. Now, tell me one thing, Pratik, what is the total debt on the books as of date? Like, before the IPO, is there any debt on the books of the company, both long term, short term?
Absolutely not. So the debt is zero.
Okay. So it's basically a zero kind of balance sheet as of now, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Now, coming to the most important question, if you could share us some details about, your public offer, what is the size of the offer, what is the main object, and when is going to open? If you could give us some broad details, which would help our viewers.
Right. So as I mentioned, I mean, before coming to the IPO side, although the debt is zero, but then we closed the last financial year around 3.56 crores with a PAT of around 40 lakh rupees. In the first quarter of this year, we have already clocked around 3.08 crores with a PAT of 70 lakh rupees.
Okay.
So quarter on quarter, we are trying to match with the last year. And coming to, let's say, the IPO side, the existing capital is around 17.69 crore rupees. The new issue size is around 6.29 crore. That means 62 lakh 90,000 equity shares into 10 rupees per share. And a total equity capital post issue is going to be close to 23.98 odd crore rupees. IPO price is something what we are just waiting for the approval from BSC to come into this. Date of opening tentatively would be anywhere around first week of December, and closing would be in a week's time.
Okay. And Pratik, before we conclude, my last question would be that now you're entering the capital markets, the company is going to go public. So, you all have always been, private. That is, you all have funded all your operations initially out of your own resources. Now, when you go public, what is the kind of, message which you would like to give to your public shareholders? Because, this is a long-term journey, and I'm quite sure that, you would succeed definitely very well. But in your thought process, how would the management take care of its minority as well as its large shareholders? Because you all have already had a very large shareholder base. I was seeing your prospectus. So now the new public shareholders which are coming, what is the message which you would like to give them over the longer term? How would you generate value for them?
So I'll start with, let's say, the IPO stage. So it has been a conscious and a deliberate consensus between the promoters of the company and the key shareholders, key investors in the pre-seed round to leave enough on the table. So we are not valuating ourselves too high and making it difficult for the general public and the general industry to participate into it. And the real growth story starts from now. So all the hard work that was supposed to be done in last 4 to 5 years in whichever capacity, it could be in a personal capacity or company's capacity, that is already done. And now we are in a stage where we are tapping the right check marks. We are targeting the manufacturing side, and that too very niche manufacturing side. We won't be competing with, let's say, leisure or entertainment roles. We'll be into a niche side, which is on high demand right now. Apart from that, already, let's say, almost 80% of the revenue is coming from training, and we have already established ourselves as one of the prominent players. So we want, let's say, every second drone pilot in the country should be a Droneacharya product.
Okay.
And every project which commences in India should have at least one Droneacharya component in that. It can be from GIS point of view, it can be from automation, Python coding point of view, it can be from drone point of view. But we would like to have a lion's share in the entire industry.
Okay. I think thank you very much, Pratik. You've given us very valuable inputs, and my best wishes to you and your entire team. I would definitely hope that the IPO is also a grand success, and all the investors, get rewarded in your business journey. So thank you very much, and would definitely like to be in touch with you when you get listed and going forward. So thank you once again.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah.